Hi, BrenTech here, where tech is made simple. Microsoft has released the latest optional bug fix C-release update for Windows 11 24H2, which, if we head to our update history, is KB5065789. And this is, give or take, more or less the same bug fix update I posted on when it was in final preview a couple of days ago. Now, the update is quite a big update. It includes 17 new features. When it was in preview, there were 19, so they've dropped 2 features. We get 17, which is still quite a lot of features. And this will also be the shared update when Microsoft rolls out the 25H2 annual feature update. I would suggest, if not starting tomorrow, the 1st of October, it'll start rolling out over the next couple of weeks. And the reason I say a shared update is because 24H2 and 25H2 will now have the same features moving forward over the next while, because 25H2 will be installed using an enablement package, basically built on top of 24H2. So that's why they will be sharing the same features. So this is more or less also what we will expect with 25H2. Now, this update is optional, so you don't have to install it, because if you don't install it now, it will be rolled out as part of the Patch Tuesday update next month. And if you do decide to install it, as you can see, the OS build will be bumped up to 26,100.6725. And the only difference between 24H2 and 25H2 with this update, with 25H2, the build will be 26,200. Now, all of the new features are rolling out gradually. So you may see them now, you may not. And that's quite common. Microsoft does push new features and a lot of fixes out gradually. So all the new features and the fixes I'm going to go through now are rolling out gradually. So just take note of that. Now, the first couple are for Copilot Plus PCs. So I'm just going to quickly mention these. We've got 2 new features for Click to Do, where there's a new and popular action tags in the Click to Do context menu, which Microsoft says will help you discover the latest and most widely used AI-powered actions. And the next new feature for Click to Do is it provides more concise summaries with summaries action, with Microsoft saying the output for text entities is shorter and more focused. Ongoing improvements continue to enhance clarity and precision. And then the next one is also for Copilot Plus PCs, so I'm just going to get these out of the way quickly. AI agents in settings. Apparently now there's a new direct navigation link to the corresponding settings page, which is available from agent search results. Microsoft says this improvement is currently rolling out to agents in settings only on Copilot Plus PCs. Now, moving on to your so-called regular PCs, there's a new feature for desktop where, if you are now using your hardware indicators for brightness, volume, airplane mode, and so on, you can now change the position, which I think is a nice move. So for this, we're going to head into our settings, system, notifications, and here we're going to scroll right down to the bottom of the page. And here you'll see indicators from keyboard actions, position of on-screen indicators. The default is top left. So if I just lower my volume quickly, we can see top left. Now, if I change that, bottom center, and the third option is top center. And I actually think I'm just going to leave it there. So you can now move hardware indicators for brightness, volume, airplane mode, and so on, which I think is a nice move. And then there's a new feature for the taskbar, which is applying to IT admins in enterprise environments, where admins no longer need to restart Explorer.exe to apply the pinning policy. And then for File Explorer, we get a new feature. And for this, I'm just going to use an image, because I think this is for Copilot Plus PCs. You can now use AI actions in File Explorer to edit images or summarize documents, Microsoft says. So you would just right-click on the file and select AI actions. This, Microsoft says, is not yet available for customers in the EEA, European Economic Area. And yeah, there's your different actions here to the right-hand side. And here's one I'm actually quite happy to see, because I think it makes a nice user interface, the visual appearance just a little bit better, in my personal opinion. Where Microsoft says there's an improvement for File Explorer where the context menus have been updated to remove the, if you head to open with, the accent colored backplate behind packaged apps. So there used to be a backplate, as an example, of Paint or Paint 3D or Snipping Tool, and that's been removed, and I actually think that looks a lot better, just decluttering that user interface. And then there's another improvement for File Explorer, where Microsoft has said that it's made underlying changes to help improve the performance of launching cloud files from the File Explorer and loading context menus. And I actually think that does feel a little bit more snappier. And there's a fix rolling out where icons and text might become overlapping on the desktop when using increased text scaling. So that's been patched. And then just to mention the last fix for File Explorer, apparently icons in the details preview and navigation panes of File Explorer weren't properly mirrored when using an Arabic or Hebrew display language. So a couple of fixes rolling out for File Explorer and some improvements. Then just to mention the next, Windows Share, there's a new feature where you can now pin your favorite apps in the Windows Share window to quickly access them when you need them, according to Microsoft. And there's a new advanced settings. So for this, we're going to head back to our settings system. And here you'll see advanced. Microsoft says the redesigned advanced settings page is an update of the For Developers page and makes it easier to find key options. And I actually think I like this. I think that's a nice move in the right direction. And then we've got a new feature for input. And for this one, I'm just going to head over to my notepad because this can get quite confusing. So basically, you can insert dashes with new keyboard shortcuts. You can quickly insert an N dash or an M dash while typing. Press Windows logo key plus minus to insert an N dash and Windows logo key plus shift and minus to insert an M dash. If magnifier is running, Windows logo key and hyphen will zoom out magnifier instead of inserting an N dash. So I think you can fiddle around with that one for yourself, but just to give you a general idea, as mentioned, that can get quite confusing. And there's an input fix, just going to mention it. After waking a PC from sleep, touch input might not work to enter your PIN on the sign-in screen. And there are two new features for Narrator, which is an accessibility feature, which I'm just going to mention quickly. Narrator now includes Braille Viewer, which shows both on-screen text and its Braille equivalent on a refreshable Braille display. And Narrator offers a smoother, more natural experience in Word with improved voice feedback, reliable continuous reading, and better navigation for footnotes, comments, lists, and tables. So two new features for Narrator, which is always a nice move when it comes to accessibility. And I'm just going to mention another new feature for passkeys. You can now use Plugin Credential Manager for passkeys. And then there's two new features for settings. The first, I'm just going to head back into that. And if we head to privacy and security, Microsoft says, if we head into search history, Microsoft says the manage or clear your Bing search history entry under this page has been removed. We can see there's nothing here related to Bing anymore. And Microsoft says you can now manage your Bing search history directly from the privacy dashboard, which is found here under privacy resources. And obviously, if you click on privacy dashboard, that'll take you online where you can then delete that search history from your Microsoft account. And there's another new feature for settings, which I have covered in depth in a previous video, and I'll leave it linked in the end screen and down below in the description. But just quickly for this video, if we head into settings, time and language, date and time, Microsoft says more time And language and keyboard settings have moved from control panel to settings. You can now add additional clocks. Check the video out for more info. Change your time server and customize date and time formatting, including AM, PM. Symbols directly from this page, as you can see. So check the video out for more info, but that's more control panel settings moving over to the new modern settings. And Microsoft says there's an improvement for settings where if we head to our apps, installed apps, it's made underlying changes to help improve the performance of loading the apps list. I haven't seen that yet, so maybe I haven't got that one yet. Everything still feels like it used to. Not really seen a performance boost there. And just to mention the next fix for settings, Microsoft says that settings, system storage, disk, and volumes might show a link for BitLocker drive encryption in unsupported cases. Selecting it results in BitLocker opening and displaying error 0x800040005. So that's been fixed if you were experiencing that. And just to mention a new feature and an improvement for gaming. The new feature is Xbox controller support for gaming on Windows 11 has been improved, where short pressing the Xbox button opens Game Bar. A new change Microsoft says it's introducing is when you long press the Xbox button, it will open Task View. Pressing and holding the Xbox button continues to turn off the game controller. And the improvement is underlying changes have been made to improve performance when gaming with Game Bar or other overlays active on top of users' games. And then there's a new feature listed under Other. This feature offers a modern interface that aligns with Windows 11's visuals across several dialogues, including the one shown when an app fails to open. So you might see some tweaks and adjustments to the user interface. And then there is a new feature and a fix for voice access. Just to mention these. The new feature is natural language commanding in voice access now provides users with the flexibility to speak commands naturally using filler words and synonyms rather than rigid predefined commands. This feature, Microsoft says, is now available for Intel and AMD powered Copilot plus PC. So that's Copilot plus PC specific. And then the fix is voice access might get stuck in a state where it says it's listening but is stuck and doesn't respond. So that's been patched. Then there's a couple of fixes I'm just going to mention quickly. There's a fix for dynamic lighting where it might occasionally consume excessive CPU after unlocking your PC. So that's an important fix. There's a fix for HDR, high dynamic range, where it might unexpectedly immediately turn off after being enabled in settings. So that's important. There's another important one. There's a fix for a known issue, where the update addresses an issue that affects playback of protected content in certain Blu-ray, DVD, and digital TV apps that use enhanced video renderer with HDCP enforcement. This can occur after installing KB5065789. So that was a known issue. I have posted on that, so that's nice to see. And there's an improvement for performance, which is also nice to see, where Microsoft says it's added support for certificate revocation, list partitioning in Windows certificate authorities. And then there's a fix for quick settings. Microsoft says if you had to enter a PIN for your device to cast from quick settings, pressing enter wouldn't confirm the PIN. So that's also a small little important fix. And there's a fix for Windows Hello where you might unexpectedly see a message saying something happened and your PIN isn't available when attempting to enter safe mode. Now guys, all of those fixes and improvements and new features are rolling out gradually, and then there's a couple of fixes taking place under the hood which are rolling out normally. I'm just going to mention one because I don't want to make this video too long. There's a fix for a known issue for networking where the update addresses an issue where you might not be able to connect to shared files and folders if you're using the server message block SMB v1 protocol on NetBIOS over TCP IP NetBIOS. This can happen after installing update KB5065426, and I think that's more for enterprises. And then if you do decide to install the update, because it is optional, and I only suggest installing optional updates if you're faced with a major issue. If we head into the About Windows menu, Windows 11 24H2, after the update has been applied, the OS build is sitting on 26.100.6725. So a big update. And as mentioned, when 25H2 starts rolling out, I think it's almost going to be a mirror image of what we have mentioned today. And when that does happen, I'll post and let you guys know ASAP. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.